The Golden State Warriors came into the night looking to snap out of a rough shooting stretch, particularly for Buddy Hield, who had been struggling for a couple of weeks. Right from the start, he looked determined to change that narrative. Early in the game, Buddy drilled a confident three-pointer, a sign that he might finally be finding his rhythm again. As the ball swished through the net, it felt like a much-needed lift, not just for him, but for the Warriors' offense. Later in the quarter, Donte DiVincenzo was locked in a battle on the wing, fighting to create space before kicking it out to Moses Moody. Moody took his time, set his feet, and launched from deep. The shot danced around the rim before dropping in. It wasn't the cleanest make, but it was the kind of shooter's role Moody needed. Andrew Wiggins made the right read, drawing in the defense with a strong post-up before dishing it to Moody. This was the kind of ball movement the Warriors needed to build some momentum. Coming out of a timeout, that momentum seemed to build. Moody, feeling hot after making his first, knocked down another. This time, credit went to rookie Trace Jackson Davis, TJD, who sprinted down the floor and dragged defenders with him, giving Moody the extra space he needed. The floor spacing worked perfectly, and Moody took advantage. That was a key sequence showing how the Warriors' movement and hustle can open up perimeter shots. Meanwhile, Stephen Curry hadn't scored much to that point. But that changed quickly. He got the ball, flipped it up off the glass in one smooth motion, and finally got his first bucket of the second quarter. It was vintage Steph, poised, quick, and incredibly precise. Later, DiVincenzo, with the shot clock winding down, found himself in a tough spot. He launched a deep three from well beyond the arc, somewhere near St. Paul, and missed. But Jaden McDaniels capitalized on the long rebound and soared in for a two-handed putback slam. The Warriors were caught flat-footed. Steph saw McDaniels, beat him to the rebound, but he didn't dwell on it. On the next possession, Steph responded with a deep three of his own. He reminded everyone why he's the deadliest shooter in the league. Even Rudy Gobert shook his head in disbelief. What else could he do? Moody stayed active this time, driving on Gobert and flipping in a tough layup. He now had 8 points. The Warriors' offense was starting to click. On the next trip, Buddy Hield returned the favor with a nice pass inside to Kevon Looney, who immediately dropped it to Gary Payton II for an easy score. That kind of unselfish ball movement was energizing the team. Buddy kept looking for his shot. He missed a three but stayed involved, tipping a rebound out to give Golden State another chance. Steph grabbed it, turned, and fired instantly. His shot missed, but once again, Moody kept the play alive. He had his fingerprints on nearly every hustle play. Looney eventually snagged the offensive rebound and reset the possession. McDaniels, with his length and speed, was still causing problems. He flew in again with a rebound and a quick move to the rim, drawing contact. But Steph remained focused. He used a screen to slip around McDaniels and gently floated in another layup. The free throws from both teams had slowed the pace, but Golden State was beginning to control the rhythm again. To start the fourth quarter, Buddy Hield knocked down a huge three. Steph had set a sneaky back screen that confused the defenders. Two of them collapsed inside, leaving Buddy wide open on the perimeter. He didn't hesitate. Gary Payton II added a strong drive to the rim, finishing with authority. His first game back since Christmas, and already making an impact. Then came another impressive play. Buddy Hield tracked down a fast break and blocked the shot. His energy was undeniable. On the next possession, with the shot clock winding down, Buddy tried to create space against a solid defender in Mike Conley. He couldn't get a clean shot, but TJD again secured an offensive board. The hustle was relentless. Eventually, DiVincenzo buried another three and drew a foul in the process. A potential 4-point play. He was feeling it. Steph returned and kept the pressure up. After a double screen set him loose, he dished it to GP2, who quickly found Looney. Curry then drifted to the corner, caught the return pass, and splashed a deep triple, his trademark move. DiVincenzo continued his hot streak with another deep jumper, cutting the Timberwolves' lead down to just 2. Minnesota responded, but The Warriors weren't going away. With 6.3 seconds left, Minnesota had the ball and Golden State needed a stop. Anthony Edwards drained a three to give Minnesota a bit of breathing room. The crowd roared. The Warriors answered quickly. Steph moved the ball up and got it into Jimmy Butler's hands. Butler, who had been quiet in the first half, now looked like a man on a mission. He slashed into the lane and finished strong. Edwards responded again. His confidence was surging. The Timberwolves were feeding him the ball, and he wasn't missing. Golden State kept grinding. Klay Thompson was out, but Jimmy Butler continued to step into the leadership role. He got fouled and calmly hit both free throws, tying the game. Minnesota went back to Edwards, who rose up for another huge three. Splash. The Timberwolves regained the lead, but the game was far from over. Butler came back with a triple of his own. Then he attacked Randle, drew contact, and hit both free throws again. These were clutch time buckets. With under a minute left, Edwards got loose one more time and buried another three. Ice cold. On the next possession, rookie Brandon Podziemski got a look from beyond the arc, but his shot didn't fall. Minnesota grabbed the board and time was winding down. Randle tried to create but missed. Draymond Green collected the rebound and pushed it quickly. The Warriors knew they needed a three. Minnesota knew it too and defended tightly. After a foul stopped the clock, Chris Finch called timeout. The Timberwolves needed a plan to close this out. With 6 seconds remaining and a 3-point lead, they inbounded the ball and were quickly fouled. Edwards hit the first free throw to stretch the lead to 4, but missed the second. The Warriors had one last chance, but they couldn't get a clean shot off. And with that, the Timberwolves escaped with a thrilling win in a game full of wild momentum shifts, clutch plays, and gritty performances. Final thoughts. Anthony Edwards put on a show, finishing with 37 points and several late-game daggers. His poise in crunch time was impressive. Jimmy Butler stepped up for Golden State in the absence of Klay and scored 16 in the second half alone. Buddy Hield found his shot again, hitting key threes and even blocking a shot on defense. Moody and DiVincenzo brought hustle and energy, impacting the game on both ends. Steph Curry, as always, made defenders pay for every mistake. The Warriors may have lost the game, but their fight, especially from role players like Moody, GP2, and Hield, was encouraging. The Timberwolves leaned on Edwards' rising stardom and Conley's veteran poise to secure a big win.